This is Sean O'Malley, and you're watching Full-Time MMA. Don't be a bagel biting, bagel bitch boy, bagel bitch back.
Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, because you know what time it is. It's full time
MMA.
And before we get into this video, shout out to Fat Ninja Flip, Quintin, Panola, and everybody else that joined us on twitch.tv for the UFC 4 watch party last night. My car still broke down and I can't get work today, so I'm actually probably going to be watching UFC 5 and 6. So if you haven't, I'll leave the link in the description. Check out twitch.tv/fulltimemma. We're going to be over there watching old UFC events. UFC 5, 6, and 7 are next. So yeah, man, it was super fun. I'll tell you a little more about it at the end of the show. We got a lot to talk about here with Michael Chiesa. He's filing a lawsuit against Conor McGregor and others for the bus attack. Now, this is interesting, but it's still kind of expected. I just expected it to happen earlier. If you guys remember at UFC 223, Conor McGregor stormed the Barclays, threw the dolly at the bus, and there were two fighters injured. And then, of course, if you count emotional injuries, Rose as well, because I think she still has PTSD from that incident, which is why I'm actually surprised, just from what we've been hearing as fans, that Rose Namajunas and Ray Borg actually aren't the ones with the lawsuit. Now, I kind of get why Ray Borg isn't, but I'm just saying their injuries seem to be more extensive than Michael Chiesa's. Michael Chiesa just had like a dot on his head that was like leaking blood down, a little bit of blood. It wasn't like a fucking horror movie. It was literally like the doctor was taking blood and he took it from his forehead instead of his finger. It was that simple. Nothing crazy, but at the same time, this was a millionaire, multi-millionaire, who took your fight away from you. If you recall, after Michael Chiesa and Ray Borg were injured, their fights were rescheduled that night. Now, Rose actually went on to fight, so much for her PTSD, but hey, maybe that's where she feels comfortable. I mean, I'm not going to go too far into the Rose topic. We've done it enough on this channel. Just from where I come from, I ain't buying it. I get it. People are different. A lot of people have went through shit, and it affects certain people different than others. But I'm sorry, I'm just not the one. I wasn't born yesterday. I feel like a lot of this whole Rose Namajunas situation, just specifically Rose, I'm not talking about Ray Borg and Michael Chiesa. I just feel like specifically Rose, that's going to go away after McGregor versus Khabib. I really just feel like that's a big, I don't want to say draw, but it's a big talking point as far as, yeah, but Conor McGregor shook up Rose, you know, because a lot of people don't give a fuck about what Conor McGregor did. Honestly, we're all so fucking desensitized at this point, and we brought that up when we were watching UFC 4 last night. Somebody was like, yo, I used to watch this shit and it was cutting edge. I'm so desensitized now, like I'm just watching this like it's normal. Watching the old UFCs back when it was still barbaric, but we're just watching it now like, oh yeah, it's just some ground and pound, say nothing. We've seen this millions of times. But yeah, so that part of that is the reason that I'm just really can't buy Rose Namajunas being shook up to the point to where she can't even leave her house. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not just her saying it, it's her coaches, it's the team, it's everybody's involved. So Rose might be a little shaken up, sure. I'll give her the benefit of a doubt, just to get you fucking trolls out of here that, oh, how dare you question Rose's PTSD? Oh, you never know what she went through. Even if you and a lot of other people have been through a lot of shit, doesn't mean you react the same way as Rose. Okay, I get it. Well, just please tell me any other situation where there's been a broken window and anybody who's been through shit in their past just completely went in the shell. Like I said, another topic for another day. But really, Michael Chiesa and Ray Borg, I feel like, had a better lawsuit. Now, if these people just want to get money from Conor McGregor, there's probably more people that could press lawsuits. Shit, Rose could sue for mental distress. Now, she couldn't sue for, like, loss of wages because she still fought. And also, that'd probably be, I would assume Conor McGregor's defense would be like, come on, how fucking hurt are these people? They all fought right after the event. Like, you know, if Rose tried to sue Conor McGregor for the money, or Rose's team, Pat Barry, the managers, whoever, if they decided that they wanted to try and get some of Conor McGregor's money, and hey, let me also preface all of this by saying this. I ain't mad at these people. Rose, Michael Chiesa, or Ray Borg. if you're a fighter and you're fucking fighting and you're not making a lot of money, you're still paying your trainers, your camps. You know, UFC fighters compared to other athletes don't make the millions. They don't make millions every year. They don't fucking make as much money. UFC's newer and the fighters' pay is just not there yet. And so with that being said, if one of these hungry fighters who are literally fighting in a fucking cage, punching each other in the face, doing it during training, slamming each other, cranking on each other's joints because they're training for a mixed martial arts fight, and they're getting paid least than all the other athletes in the world, if one of these guys who are a fucking hungry fighter wants to sue Conor McGregor, by all means, do your fucking thing. He acted like a jackass. He came in there, threw a fucking dolly. Nobody asked him to do that, and you guys' fights were canceled. So I'm not even mad at that. If some fucking millionaire wrecked your car, he rear-ended you, and you missed work that day, there's a lot of people that are probably gonna fucking try and sue him because it's a millionaire. It's just the name of the game, dog. If you're broke as fuck and a millionaire does some stupid shit, whether it's wrecks his car into you or throws a fucking dolly into your window, then yeah, you might sue him for it to alleviate some of your fucking pressure from your plate. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, Michael Chiesa and Ray Borg, they ain't making no even $100,000 a fight like me. So they could fuck around, sue McGregor, who hasn't even fought as many pro fights in the UFC as them, you could say. I don't believe it's really close. I mean, he hasn't been super active. And either way, it doesn't matter how much Conor McGregor's fought. He still made way more money than every UFC fighter with his fight with Floyd Mayweather and everything else he's been able to do to market himself and sell himself and become this megastar. So with that being said, you got these fighters that are still hungry, still in the UFC. They never sniffed Conor McGregor money. I wouldn't be fucking mad if one of them said, hey, I'm suing Conor. Yeah, lost wages. And you know what? I'm even throwing on emotional distress. Do I really think Michael Chiesa's emotionally distressed? No, but that shit sounds good on a lawsuit. And if you know anything about fucking lawsuits, emotional distress gets thrown on there all the damn time. And that's always been questionable. I mean, how can you really gauge how much emotionally stressed somebody is? Honestly, you can't gauge that. So if Michael Chiesa sues for emotional distress and then Ray Borg also adds on to the lawsuit, I don't think Ray Borg's gonna do it. Michael Chiesa's the only one here that might. Maybe Rose. Rose didn't miss her fight. Chiesa and Ray Borg, they both missed their fights, but Ray Borg, since then, he's kind of forgiven Conor. Ray Borg had a son of his own, and it's like, you know, fatherhood made him forgive Conor. He said, because his son has some health issues. Ray Borg was like, you know, the fact that I'm dealing with everything with my son and what he's going through, and the fact that Conor McGregor is a father of a healthy son, I just want him to have a fucking good life, man. I just want him to be able to raise his son and cherish his moments with his kids. So Ray Borg, he's not on that trying to be, you know, get rich quick, trying to sue Conor McGregor, trying to hold venom and animosity toward Conor McGregor just because he has the potential to sue him here. Ray Borg's looking at shit in a different perspective. He's just happy to have his son right now. So I don't see Ray Borg adding on to this, but shit, if he needed the money, if you need the money, you might, you know what I'm saying? Maybe because his son, honestly, he had to get a new surgery. If you've been keeping up on social media at all, he was doing great, successful surgery, went home with Ray Borg and his wife, and then pretty recently, actually, he had to go back in the hospital. So that's unfortunate. But if Ray Borg needs money for those medical situations, then shit, he might have to sue McGregor. McGregor does have some millions, and I'm not saying sue McGregor to the point to where he's broke. I don't want to see that. But what I'm saying is, just sue McGregor to the point to where, let's say McGregor has $100 million total. All right, you get $2 million, you get $2 million. McGregor still got fucking $90 million. No one cares. He still got millions and millions of dollars, and now you guys are compensated for this. And so, with that being said, that's why I'm not mad at Chiesa for filing this lawsuit. I'm just kind of surprised that it's only Chiesa. And also, I'm kind of surprised because it's so fucking long after. I mean, this explains the protection orders, and I've been telling you guys that. The only reason that Michael Chiesa and Ray Borg would have filed these protection orders is if their team or somebody told them that it's going to help their lawsuit, or if they were forced to. But normally in a situation, if you're riding a fucking public taxi or a bus and some crazy random jackass breaks the window, they don't force you to go downtown and get a protection order on those guys. But if you're going to sue somebody, if your lawyer or your team, your manager, if you plan on suing this millionaire jackass who just threw a fucking dolly through your window, yeah, there's a couple steps you gotta take. For one, you can't fight tomorrow. You know why? Because that's loss of wages. That's gonna add to your lawsuit. For two, you know what else you can't fucking do, or you have to do? You gotta go downtown and get a protection order and let the judge and let the court know that you were in fear from this guy. That goes to your emotional distress case and everything else. So, all of those would help your lawsuit against McGregor. So I thought this was coming a long time ago. It's just now, maybe Michael Chiesa, I don't know, some vindictive ass plan, because now Conor McGregor's going to be fighting Khabib at UFC 229, and he's got to deal with this fucking lawsuit from Chiesa, and Chiesa could have been had this shit in motion. He could have did this before UFC 224. The shit happened at UFC 223. Why ain't you going to sue fucking Conor until UFC 229, dog? You've been waiting and getting your shit together. You've waited so long. I think Michael Chiesa's even fought since then. You should have did this lawsuit before you even fought. Since then, you've already went and fought and everything. We ain't even heard about this lawsuit until now, until Conor's got to fight. Like, why are you doing it now? You just want Conor to be fucking distracted? Like, seriously, I don't understand why he's doing it so late, but I'm still not surprised that a lawsuit has came out of that dolly attack. And we'll see what happens with Rose. She still fought the next day, so I don't even know. She doesn't have the loss of wages argument, you know what I'm saying? She went on to win. Like, people are talking about how effective Rose Namajunas is 2 months later. Motherfucker, 2 hours later, she was cool to go in there and fight. Like, that broken window, they're acting like, oh, she can still fight at a world-class level. She still trains every day, but everything else is just PTSD'd out. Everything else Rose can't do. She can't leave her house. I don't even know if she can cook her own food at this point. She stays in the house. She goes to training and does nothing else. She's a recluse because of that broken window. And I get it, you know, their argument and what they're saying, I just don't buy it. They're saying, oh, you know, with all, in light of all the gun attacks and terror attacks, whatever the fuck, you know, whenever that dolly hit the window, Rose thought it was a terror attack. And even after she realized it wasn't a fucking terror attack, she still act like, you know what I'm saying, behaving like she was involved. Like, next, I don't know, you get the point. Some of you get the point. Some of you guys are looking for shit to be offended by, and so you just buy whatever's thrown at you, and I get you people. I mean, there's definitely a lot of people out there that just want to be offended, they want to be a victim, and they want to say everybody's a victim. And so if someone comes out playing the victim, they're like, no, how can you question them being the victim? They're everybody's victims. She's a victim. He's a victim. Like, I get it. I fucking get it, dog. Do your thing. Fucking complain away. But that's just not me. I ain't buying it. And it is what it is. Hate it or love it. That's my opinion. And as far as this whole situation, Michael Chiesa filing his lawsuit against McGregor, hey, get your money. I ain't mad. I'm just surprised it's coming so late. So with that being said, man, aside from the live show we do every day, we're going to be talking about this and a lot other. Check it out at 7 p.m. Eastern time. I'm not able to find work today, so it's going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern instead of earlier in the day. But in the meantime, since I can't get a shift today to actually work, which actually fucking sucks because I need the money, what I am going to be doing is we're going to be watching UFC 5, UFC 6, UFC 7 until the live show. So we're going to be live on Twitch, watching the UFC, old UFC events, just getting caught up, watching them all in a row. If you're interested, twitch.tv/fulltimemma. Link is in the description. Link is in the comments. Just come check it out. We ain't playing no video games. We're watching UFC. Let the Full-Time family know what you think in the comments.
Da 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 da! It's the motherfucking DOWG!